So how do we want to start this? Hi guys! Welcome to today's video this is so weird. Hello Classic Crew and welcome to today's video where we are excited to announce some news. Hi guys!
You've heard of the Rothschilds.
I can't do this. We're that's just it. Hello Classic Crew and welcome to today's video where we are going to be sharing some very exciting news.
We have a child.
We're pregnant.
On the way.
On the way. We have a child growing.
Yeah, no. We have a child, a 3-year-old, just wandering around. Just picked him up the other day.
We don't know where he came from.
We adopted him from a grocery store parking lot.
So really what's happening is that we are pregnant.
Yes.
And
you've heard of the Rothschilds. Now have you heard of the Rothschild?
We have been keeping this secret for a while. It was really difficult for me to keep the secret in the first trimester because the first trimester is the most uncomfortable. And I wanted to be able to explain why I was acting differently than normal, but you can't, so... To
you, the viewers, and then also to everyone around her in our life.
Yeah, when I fell asleep awkwardly at someone's house during a board game, that was kind of...
And this was not one of the board games she falls asleep during.
Yeah,
Those are different board games.
And, those are the kinds of things that happen when you're pregnant, and you can't tell people why you're falling asleep at their house, so, yeah.
You just have to seem like a weirdo who has no self-control.
So, Jacob and I have been obviously really wanting a child. This year's been highs and lows. We had a miscarriage back in April, which I talked about on my channel, and we feel so lucky and blessed to be able to say that we are pregnant again, and this time having a healthy pregnancy, which was a big part of the reason why we didn't share, earlier. We wanted to make sure we were really out of the woods. I'm currently 16 weeks. When this video goes up, I'll be 16 weeks. So that's really exciting, which means that the baby's gonna be due in March.
Yeah, end of March. My birthday's about mid-March, so that'll be fun. Because of the miscarriage the first time around, so I grow up basically an only child. My sister's 14 years older than I am, so I was basically raised as an only child. No one around me was having children as I was growing up, just because none of the generations worked out that way among the extended family or family friends. So I had no practical experience or knowledge of the chance of miscarriage. It felt like something that happened to other people, right? It's a tragedy, it's a bad thing, it happens far off somewhere else. It was not something I knew as a very normal, everyday life kind of unavoidable tragedy. So I had no caution when it came to telling people. I had an absolute confidence, oh, we're just pregnant, we'll stay pregnant, this is gonna be wonderful. And so at 8-9 weeks into their pregnancy, we were telling friends, we were very open about it. We filmed a series of surprise, telling people videos with friends and family.
I had been recording videos for my channel where I was talking about my symptoms and wanting to share kind of a bi-weekly recap of the pregnancy.
So there was all of this preparation, expectation, sharing with people, and then when the miscarriage happened, it's always going to be tragic. It's always going to floor you. There's also relative degrees of it. If you have absolutely no preparation for this tragedy as something you have to be able to experience in life, in terms of it very well could happen to you. That's just the way it is. You don't think of it as along the same lines as losing an uncle or an aunt, but more along the lines of losing your own child, something that you just don't think is going to happen. We were absolutely floored by it. So this time, and then also had to share with all the people that we knew. We had to tell people, and you relive the emotions of it, just a small but significant portion, every single time you have to tell someone. And then you also feel observed. You feel as if you're seen as someone who's experienced a tragedy, and that has its own effect. It's something best to be avoided if you can, just to minimize the scale of awful. So when it came to this pregnancy, we were on edge. The entire first trimester. We constantly said we were on tenterhooks until we're out of the first trimester. So just very stressful. very rough because we so did not want to have it happen again. But there's also nothing you can do. You just sit there with the risk. And this is the thing I also did not know about miscarriage is you don't have a role in preventing it or in causing it for the most part. It's just going to happen if it's going to happen. And you do not know. You just know it's not going to happen when it hasn't after 13 or 14 weeks of waiting.
Yeah.
And that's just the way life is. It's probably, in my opinion, the most everyday significant tragedy or limitation in life that people have to deal with. Because even with all our medical science, if there's a chromosomal abnormality, which you could find out from some tests at a certain point along, maybe, but even then it's not a guarantee that things will happen either way. If the DNA does not match up right, that's just what it is. There's no repairing that. There's no fixing it. It's just going to happen at some point that it could result in a miscarriage.
Yeah, I'm planning on doing, I would like to do a podcast getting more in depth on the experience of being pregnant after miscarriage with both of us, because I think that your take is also incredibly relevant. But we were so excited and so happy this time around.
So turning it around to the positive, we, the highest heights we had experienced in life was finding out we were pregnant the first time. And by far the worst thing that has ever happened to either one of us was the miscarriage. The pain of that loss, nothing has compared to. And so, rebounding around, the highest highs we have ever experienced were getting pregnant again after that miscarriage.
And seeing the ultrasounds.
And seeing the ultrasounds. Seeing the baby move and be energetic. And so I think Abigail will be sharing, in some manner, the image of the ultrasound or the video, seeing the 12-week, 5-day ultrasound of our child kicking legs
Oh my gosh, it's the best. I just watch it all the time.
Extending legs back and forth and like bicycling them.
Oh, so cute.
Seeing an active, healthy child in the womb, nothing compares to that.
We're so excited to be parents. And we talk about how the experience that we had has informed this pregnancy and has informed our life, about what we want. I know you always wanted a big family. Jacob always wanted to have kids like immediately.
Because, not just because of this, but what feeds into it, I said I was raised like an only child. My sister's 14 years older than I am. So it's just there are not a lot of kids running around in my childhood. When I'm a teenager, you have the little nieces or nephews, depending on the family you're in. Abigail had that. I had no notion of it, right? I was already like 18, 19 when my first niece was born. And so to me, it means nothing. Oh, a baseball team's worth of children. Why not? I have no practical idea of the lifestyle requirements for that. At least historically, I didn't. Now I have a better sense of it.
Right.
Still want a lot of children. The only child reaction. I want to have children with 15 siblings.
So, I felt differently because I grew up with babies, and so I knew how much work goes into having a child. And so I kind of thought, okay, well, maybe we'll have 3. And after the miscarriage, now we're both very much on the same page and both very much want a big family.
Minimum. God willing, 5 minimum.
Yes, with God's help, we'll end up having a big family. But we're so excited for this child and for what's going to come in the next year. We can't wait. Pregnancy is so interesting and fun once you get out of that scary, risky time. So I'm excited to talk about that a lot here on my channel. The reason, you may have been wondering, why did I start weekly vlogs on my channel? The reason was because once this announcement came out, I'm going to actually be doing weekly vlogs following the pregnancy. So that's the idea, is that every week you guys can kind of tune in, see where I'm at, see what it's like, see what's changing, how the symptoms change. And I follow along with these apps. I use the Pregnancy Plus app. I also use the What to Expect app, but they're awesome. I show Jacob a lot of the time what the baby looks like based on, their scientific research. This is what the baby looks like in utero, and it is amazing. And that's been a really cool thing to follow along with. And I think it's going to be fun for those of you who are pregnant, for those of you who have had babies, for those of you who aren't pregnant yet but would like to be in the future. This kind of stuff is the content that I've watched even when I haven't been pregnant because I just think that it's really cool to see women go through this and have babies, and then you have babies. So we did a genetic test, mostly just because if anything was wrong, we wanted to know so we could be prepared.
Yeah, so we got the chromosomal reports, everything came back. Fortunately, no health issues. It also let us know what the sex of the child will be.
Yeah, so we actually know, but we're not going to share it quite yet because we want to do a video where we do a sort of reveal, but we plan on maybe, we haven't really decided yet, but we were thinking maybe of doing some old wives' tales to see. Have you heard of this?
No, I've not heard of it.
Oh, maybe I haven't run this by you. So there's a bunch of old wives' tales about like, oh, if you carry high or you carry wide or you the baby's heartbeat is above this rate, or if you crave sugar or salty, like those things determine the gender. And they've been around for forever.
No, that doesn't make any sense. Specifically, an old wives' tale about the baby's heart rate is above a certain amount.
Their ear horn. Have you ever seen that? I don't know how long that's been around, but I think a very long time. It's literally like a little horn you put up against the mom's belly and the midwife listens.
Oh, okay. So there could be an old wives' tale about listening to the child's heart rate. I would have figured that was so modern that the idea of folkloric wisdom around it would be ridiculous.
Yeah, I know.
Okay.
No,
I
actually,
stand corrected.
it's like a very, very old, it looks like just a old-fashioned instrument. I imagine it's been around for a long time because then women delivering babies can tell if the baby's in distress because the heartbeat will slow down.
Wow, okay.
I don't know how long it's been around, but I you could imagine because it's
midwife
so...
pilled. Yeah.
But in any case, doing all those kinds of things, seeing if we fall into the correct category and then sharing the sex. That's an option. Or we'll come up with something else to reveal the sex to you guys. But
burning down an entire forest with fireworks?
Oh, that's not on the docket, no. So that'll be a video that'll go up on my channel. And then as well, I guess even now we can start the guessing game for names. Jacob and I like a lot of different names for
a lot of different
yeah, we do. So the few places that we find inspiration for names are definitely the Bible. We love biblical names.
I, in particular, am drawn to the Book of Judges because the set of narratives in there, I think, are very potently relevant for today for very regrettable and sad reasons. And so I would like a child who's a warrior for our values and for the values that matter. So the Book of Judges, who doesn't want a child named for Yael, or named for Samson, or named for Gideon, or named for Deborah.
Yeah.
Is that the pronunciation, Deborah?
Well, in Hebrew it's Devorah, and then in English it's Deborah.
Yeah, so I combined the two into
Deborah.
something that no one wants to name their child.
We like the character of the name, meaning the person who had that name. We like the meaning of names too, but the historical person who had that name also matters to us often more.
I care much less about meaning to a name that you have to look up through an irritating web wiki.
The other places that we find inspiration for names is, I think, we like names that have like Gaelic backgrounds.
Oh yeah. We like Irish and Scottish stuff.
Irish and Scottish names.
Yeah, even though I don't really have any Irish heritage.
Yeah.
That we know of. It's all Scots-English.
Yeah, I mean, we also like Welsh names sometimes.
Oh yeah, because we want to throw everyone off.
They're interesting.
Welsh names, where your Y's don't mean what Y's mean in a word's pronunciation.
Yeah, exactly. That's what we like. Put your guesses in the comments. And yeah, I think that's it for today's video.
Sounds good.
But thank you guys so much for watching. If you aren't subscribed to my channel, now is the time, because there's going to be a ton of content about this, which we're really excited about. And if you're not already subscribed to my Substack newsletter, there's going to be content that is already there and already is existing, and I continue to do that content over there, as well as more pregnancy content. So make sure to check that out. But thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye!
Where's the opera by?